Thunderbirds. Thank you so much for joining us for this week's episode of the Thunder Talk, your weekly source of information about what's going on at Legacy. Today is Tuesday, March 22nd, and spring is officially here. Grab some popcorn, get comfortable, and prepare yourself for another great episode. Let's start this week off by celebrating all our birthdays this week.
Hey everyone, it's Miss Holmes here again, and I have another alumni interview. Today we have Jordan Woodard. And Jordan, normally this is where I would tell you when Jordan graduated, but right now I'm going to let Jordan kind of take over from here. Welcome, Jordan.
Hi everybody. Thanks, Miss Holmes, for having me. So I am an alum from Legacy, but I attended in 2009 and most of 2010. High school for me in general was probably a big struggle. I didn't really fit well into a normal school structure. So I ended up actually getting my GED from CBC in early 2011. But while I was at Legacy, it worked a lot better for me than the normal schools I went to, mostly because the different methods of learning and getting more instruction, like individualized instruction from the teachers, really helped me kind of like push myself to want to learn.
Perfect. So what have you been doing since you left Legacy?
So since I've left Legacy, in 2013, I started working for Amazon. So I was 22 actually. Can't really do math well, but so after I worked for Amazon for a couple years, I actually moved to Seattle by myself in 2015. So I was 24, which is crazy to me because if you would have told Legacy High Jordan that I would move to a city like Seattle and do it by myself nonetheless, I would have told you were crazy. So I'm actually still in Seattle now, still working for Amazon. So I've been there for 7.5 years. So that's kind of what I'm up to now. Pre-COVID times, I started traveling a lot in my late 20s. So I've gone to 9 different countries and I've done a lot of the traveling by myself as well. So that's something that I've found like my passion in as soon as I, had the opportunity to start working, and being in a place like Seattle really gives you the opportunity to experience other people and different cultures. So that's kind of, unfortunately, I haven't done a lot of traveling in the last year, but I hope that once the world returns to normal, I'll be able to get back on that.
Awesome. And I have to say, just, seeing on Facebook all of your travels and everything, it's blown my mind because, yeah, you're right. The Legacy Jordan wouldn't even have thought of doing anything like that. And I wouldn't imagine that you would have actually done it. So I'm so incredibly proud of you because, wow, you're braver than I am. So Jordan, what do you know now that you wish you knew then?
So my issue when I was in high school was I had a lot of fear of not being able to please people. So when people tried to put me inside a box and tell me, that my goals were too big or that they weren't attainable, I believed them and I changed them. And as a result, I kind of lost like my lust for life and my passion and trying to figure out what it is that makes Jordan tick. So one thing that I wish I could tell myself at 18 now is like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to put yourself inside a box. And obviously the opinions of your teachers and friends and family are important, but ultimately you have to kind of focus on you and what you want and, reach for the sky. It sounds so cliche, but seriously, like there is no dream big enough. If you want to be an astronaut, be an astronaut. Like if you want to be, I don't know, maybe like royalty probably isn't the best thing to want to be, but something attainable like that.
Well, girl, I am so impressed with all that you are doing with your life and yourself. And thank you so much for sharing with us today. And I can't wait to see you someday post-COVID times here, hopefully.
Right. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Ms. Holmes.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thunderbirds, guess what time it is? That's right, you guessed it, it's time for your weekly dose of announcements. We want to give a huge shout out to all the families that attended Curriculum Adoption Night. Thank you so much for attending and making it a big success. We couldn't have done it without your support. Seniors, you have less than 2 weeks to place your cap and gown orders. If you haven't ordered yours yet, go and see Ms. Holmes and Ms. White in the library to do so. Don't forget that if you're unable to afford your cap and gown, we are able to cover the cost for it. Students, please make sure that you are checking your email account consistently. There are many important events and valuable information that is shared with you through your email. If you need help learning how to access your account, make sure to ask any one of our staff members for help. Mr. Chavez, Ramos, and Otis would like to remind you all that if you need to speak with them regarding school resources or just to chit-chat, please make sure to do so after school. They want to make sure that you are getting enough instruction time with your teachers. Thank you for understanding. The countdown to spring break has begun. There are 9 school days left before we are free for an entire week. That's all for this week, Thunderbirds. Do your body a favor and go outside and get some exercise. You can catch this week's episode along with many others at youtube.com/Legacy High School Thunderbirds. I'm Esmeralda, wishing you a happy, healthy, and productive week. Continue to stay Thunderbird strong.